Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Poetry Journal podcast. I am Alex Murdoch, and I thank you for coming through and hearing what I have to say. It's much appreciated. So I wrote a poem recently, and I just wanted to speak about what inspired me to write about that particular topic, and it was called Fences. And you might ask, what inspired me to write such a poem? And for me, it was literally like the elephant in the room, just in the sense of like, I see what's going on in the world right now, of course. And more than anything, it's just, there's so much divisiveness and divide. It's a constant in your face type of thing going on right now. And it's like constantly everything's going from bad to worse. Everybody's fighting in a sense of like there's a group fighting, individual fighting. It's different situation, but it's just constant conflict. That's the one factor that never really changes. It never really seems to end. Even if you go back to the pandemic, and we saw it was pretty much more of the same thing. In a sense of like literally like power driving power, or power driven by power. And I feel like a lot of people feel like their rights have been infringed upon to an extent. And it's a constant thing, especially with this pandemic situation. We all went through so much, and even after everything kind of calmed down, it was almost like everybody were in a situation where, okay, we're okay again, but we're not okay again, because we can't do, in a sense, we're not really, the mentality where you're not really free, but to even go further, we see everyday developments about even current affairs, what's going on in Russia, and I believe any injustice to any people of any race, creed, and color is not right. Under any circumstance, that's not right. And I do hope for the best for that situation, and hopefully things can figure itself out without further bloodshed, in a sense. But that's not reality. So we hope for the best, given the situation being what it is. I have to, however, at the same time, I feel we're also overlooking what's happening to the people over there, the minority groups over there. One particular being that I've noticed being overlooked, in a sense, because nobody's really speaking about it per se, is the African groups, the South African students over there, not being able to, escape, in a sense, or be free to just travel away from the situation like everybody else. And it just kind of put me in a space where it's almost like, in my mind, my perception of it is like the media is overlooking what's going on with the people, that particular set of people. And once again, it's almost like we're being treated as less than. And I just feel, I can't stress enough how I feel this again is not right. It's all of that things, injustice, and for me, it's just completely effed up, to put it simple. Moving on. I wanted to just quote a piece from this poem. I thought was appropriate for following the discussion we just had. It's called, and I quote, "Broken chains, yet we still falter upon the various remains." Now, what do I mean? What am I getting at? And it seems to me, in some way or another, we all seem to be suffering from some type of shackling, in a sense. I just want to speak on that. Just and I feel like that situation in itself carries its own weight, and it begets its own hurdles. We try our best every day to try and do our best to get over our situations, but at the same time, it's never that simple. So in some way, it's never enough. It never feels enough. The factor that keeps being reiterated across the message, and I think this is kind of like a general situation. I just feel like everybody feels like they're being marginalized, and I think this goes back to the whole pandemic situation, where people just don't feel like they have a voice anymore, and they don't feel like they can speak, and they're being heard, or they've been people are actually listening to and validating their opinion, in a sense. And I just feel like, how do we cope with that? And there's various support systems out there, but at the same time, I think it's even more important that we all stay within the mindset to never give up, to keep going. We're all going through our own unique journey, and whether that is, I feel it's important to embrace it. I think it's important to embrace everything. Thank you. That's that's pretty much what I wanted to express today, and I felt it was important to be said. But thanks everyone for listening. Of course, check out my books on Amazon. And if you want to get in touch with me, Instagram, Poetry Journal, at Poetry Journal, PO3TRYJOURNAL. Thank you. Until next time.